Well, hello everyone, and welcome to HOGARTH'S Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. The two are interchangeable. Apologies for being a little bit late. I had to just quickly reset my browser because my camera decided to play up last minute. But here we are, all
Here
together.
we are.
Now I need to point this way because apparently it shows on the opposite side. But Lady G is over here. Then I'll do this, and then
that's a safe one.
Sheila, and then of course down under is Lena. And I just must say, just before we begin the show, with all these intense times, has anyone heard of the show called Traitors?
No, but it sounds promising.
Oh my God. I am watching now. This came out, it was all the rage everywhere. This came out in 2022, and I'm watching Traitors Australia. You have to watch this. It is, oh my God.
What's it on? Is it on Netflix or something?
It is on it's on BBC iPlayer, and maybe it's going to be on other things, but this, I'm not even normally that much of a TV person. This is the most gripping TV, but just to give you the idea, what is, you have faithfuls, and amongst them are traitors. No one knows who the traitors are, but the traitors know who each other are, and they plot to murder someone each night, and the faithfuls have to work out who the traitors are, but they get discombobulated and end up voting off their own, and it's all intense, all sorts of shenanigans, and it's a real study in human nature, and it's absolutely gripping. So I just thought I would say that. There's a UK version as well. All right, ladies, shall we dive in?
Yes.
All right. As we know, folks, again, something else just to say at the top. As you know, I've been going on about Uranus on the star Algol. And, you know, I've been saying themes of betrayal will be rife. This is like the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones or something like that. But the victims are mainly the American people, but also the world, especially in regards to Duck L'Orange and the outrageousness. So we'll be covering things like that. So this is just more of an opening talking point, because I think we don't really need to predict it, but this is coming from Manuela Orchid, and she says, "Hello, dear Hogies and ladies. I'm still shocked what happens with people and the funds of universities, because as we know, they're potentially being attacked." I know it's just, especially as well for you, Lena, as an academic, just seeing this playbook just play out. And Manuela asks, will there be big demonstrations on this and hopefully legal consequences? And she said that would be my question. So many scientists who did not so much, because English isn't her first language, so many scientists who didn't so much that made this country big too are leaving. So I think she's saying a lot of Americans are leaving. Many are applying in German universities at the Max Planck Institute and others. She's saying it's good for Germany, but devastating for scientists who built their lives in the USA. So let's just have that as an opening talking point. So Lena, you go first. How do you feel about what is going on in terms of academia and universities and stuff? And I'll get the other ladies' opinions.
Yes. Well, it's a fascist playbook to a T. Because what you do is dangle the sparkly things to distract people while killing the voice of intellectuals. So there's the abstract side of it, which is bad enough. And then there's the practical side, which is actually combing through the curriculum of major international universities. Our researchers are all getting letters from the administration.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
There are only two genders. Are you pushing a Christian position or not? and threatening to withdraw funding and all. So it's not only happening in the US, but global. And so it's triple-decker horrifying for all the obvious reasons. You know, repression of independent and critical thought. That's what it's about.
My gosh. Yeah. Wow. Sheila, what are your thoughts on what you're learning about universities and stuff? And what stories have you been picking up while you've been looking at the news over the last week?
Well, I do believe that the United States has overexposed themselves to thinking that we are a great nation and that we are at the top of the food chain. And they're slowly learning that we are not at the top of the food chain. China has explained that to them and showed them the difference. Everybody, if you literally go on to ChatGPT and look at all of the companies that are owned by somebody foreign, and not only, and they claim to be American, not only the American companies who are also outsourcing all of their products from outside, there's probably nothing in this country that is really stable. And I hate to say this, but I think they're just overextending. It's going to come with the universities. It's like they're going to lose out. They don't understand the loss part.
Exactly. You're not going to lead the world in any form of advance if you're not training people.
Well, the white supremacy people literally feed the junk and the BS to their head. You are superior. You are the best. We are in the majority. You know what I mean? And they believe that so they can think that they can just take so many egregious and horrible steps towards that ideology, and then the reality will hit them. It's just not going to work out. I just don't see it ever. It has never worked out. It's not going to work out.
It's shocking.
Lady G, what are your thoughts on what you're seeing in terms of academia being attacked, intelligentsia, thinking people?
Oh, it's absolutely horrid. They're, pulling funds away from academia and also going after anybody that protests something that they don't like. When they were saying about Israel, and wanting to just get rid of everybody in Gaza, and they protested that, they want to take those people and get them out of the country now. So that repression, that you no longer have the ability to stand up for something that's right, that you believe that's right, and call you a terrorist because it's against what the Trump regime wants to put in there, is just absolutely horrible.
It's a massive threat to democracy.
Concern is suppressing anybody speaking out and upholding something that the Trump regime wants to, squash.
Gosh, and I've heard it. I've not been able to kind of double verify it, but I was watching some independent media. I couldn't remember which channel it was. There's just so much news at the moment. But I heard that apparently over 300 students have already been deported. And like people in the middle of their PhDs. Can you imagine, Lena?
It's
imagine you're in the middle of your studies and you write something because you're like, well, look, I don't agree with what's going on here. They're gone. See ya. Goodbye. Yeah. It's just absolutely extraordinary, isn't it? We will get the show underway. I need to say some thank yous already. All right. So thank you to Cindy Lee. Thank you so much for your kind donation. Rhonda Rue, thank you so much as well. Melody says, can you please read on the Australian federal elections due in May 3rd? Maybe we can. I've got quite a lot scheduled in, but you know what? Let's do a quickie, Lena. Let's just do a quickie one card poll. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Foggy. Thank you, Susan Watson. Wow, very generous. Thank you so much. Foggy saying whole Congress vote against the taxpayer and consumer. Yes, they do, unfortunately. Thank you, Joanne Marie. I look forward to the 4 of you on Wednesday. I just wish the news were better. Can you work on that? Unfortunately, we can't change the news. It's the times. So this wasn't in schedule, but let's just do a quickie because, of course, we've got an Aussie on the panel. Lena, you ready? Let's do a one-card pull and let's see what in store. And as you know, it's going to be blind read for the three of us. So whatever we get, Lena, that's just spirit using
in fact, I might sit it out. I'll watch what you guys get.
Oh, really?
I'm too close.
Oh, all right, ladies. Well, the three of us are pulling one card pull each. And the question was about, what was it again? It was
the
about
Australian election.
Yeah. Can you read on Australia's federal elections due on May 3rd? All right, ladies. We're going to be testing ourselves there. Cold read. Let's just see what we get. Completely unplanned. All right. After three. All right. One. Oh, Sheila, you ready? Sorry, I caught you. Got you on ambush. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Ooh, interesting. All right, Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
Well, cold read means really, truly coldly. Is there I don't know if there's a female that is involved, but this may indicate a female. And it may indicate the majority of the people are going to be happy and laughter, and they're going to feel the healing. So the healing side instead of the destructive side. So that's how I interpret mine, that whatever happens is going to be a positive thing for Australia.
Lady B, how do you interpret your card?
Well, it looks like some that perhaps have been in power are going to go away.
Yeah. And I find it interesting that all three of our cards have women on them. So I'm going to say here, I think the female vote is kind of crucial in this one.
Yes.
I think the female vote is going to have a lot to do with it. So I think whoever the parties are, because I know one of them is Albo, isn't it? Albo, and I don't even know who he's up against. Totally freezing cold read here, clueless. So I'm just have to go in with this card. So I think it is with the women. We've all got a woman on the cards, and it will be. I think it will be decided on which women stay or go. Definitely depending on Lady G's card, but with Sheila's card, there's some happiness here, and with the ones that I've got, women using their intuition. So I don't know. What's your spin on that, Lena?
Well, although there's two men vying for the main job, what decided the federal election last time were the independents, and a lot of them were women. But I love Lady G's card too, because we're hoping that Voldemort, who's the evil conservative, ex-Queensland cop, like the equivalent of Alabama, where I grew up, he might lose his seat to a woman, in which case he's Prime Minister.
How interesting. Well, we shall see. So that, indeed, fingers crossed. So that was a complete detour, folks. We weren't expecting that, but you know, with HoGaLeSh, we just roll with it. Let's get into question 1, and we're actually going to be going in our esoteric airplane. We've done a little bit of Australia. Now we're going to go to India, and then I think the rest is going to be what's unfolding in the United States, pretty much. So this is coming from Nick Minks. Interesting one card pull again. And she writes, the Gandhi political family in India are being charged with fraud. Any truth to this, or is Modi attempting to prevent them challenging him in future elections? It's going to be shocking, wouldn't it?
Yeah. A one card?
Yeah, one card. We've got a few one cards, and then I'm leaving the whoppers towards the end.
I really like these one cards. It gets a lot of the questions answered, and I'm always amazed at how all of her cards match.
Yeah, it's remarkable, isn't it? And they just get so quickly to the point as well. All right, after 3, 1, 2, 3. What's Modi up to?
Yes.
Oh, look at this. Intriguing.
I love that lineup. So mine is the 5 of Wands, internal conflict whether that's within Modi's party on doing this or internal Indian politics. But no one wins with the 5 of Wands, so it's trying to weaken the Gandhis for sure.
Yeah. And Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
I mean, mine's pretty straightforward. He's paranoid. Things are going where he wants them to go. He has the caution. He has the insecurity. He's very guarded. He can't trust anybody around him at this point in time. He's like spying on them. They're spying on him. There's just a lot of drama going on that kind of matches Lena's card. And also Lady G's card too. Everybody's card.
Yeah, it's looking...
Lady G, so how do you interpret your
Well,
card?
he's just tried to gather up so many things, but it's such a big burden he can't carry it. So it looks like some of them are getting away from him.
Wow, fascinating. And my card, in a way, is pretty straightforward, isn't it? 5 of Swords, which we know is shorthand for an abuse of power, particularly when we're reading politically. So it looks like he's paranoid. He understands the threat, and he's going to potentially abuse his position of power to try and get rid of rivals because he's paranoid about being overthrown. Oh, God, you can't beat a 1-card pull, eh?
They're good.
Yeah. All right. So that's India elections there. Where am I? Let's get to number 2. Up, full card pull on this one. And of course, it makes sense for this question to be asked. So this is coming from Sinsa. And Sinsa again, who's been asking about SCOTUS, and thank you for your donations as well. So she says, she's asking about Congress as well. But will SCOTUS do anything to stop Dumpy from ignoring court orders? And she's also written, the judges are going to start holding Trump in contempt. My understanding is the judge can send articles of impeachment to Congress if he refuses to comply. Will MAGA Mike even bring it to the floor? So basically what I've put here in question mark is, will SCOTUS save the day? Let's look at that. Will they actually try and do the right thing? And will it even matter? Let's take a look.
That'd be a novelty.
I got the strength card for them when I did a pull on them last week. I think it was in my Thursday fry up, and the strength card came up. And this is the full card pull, by the way. This is the full card pull. Yeah, we need some detail on this one. And they got the strength card, and I said, are they going to try and do the right thing? It looked like they were trying to do the right thing. And then they ruled 9-0 in favor of trying to bring the guy back from El Salvador. And of course, the administration, the regime lied about it.
And not only that, the Yeti went on and said he won that vote of the Supreme Court. No, he just said it like that.
And the bots on social media are only listening to Trump because they'll come around and say they voted for him. I'm like, oh, you guys are only listening to the liar, I see.
That's remarkable, isn't it? So SCOTUS, will they do the right thing? And I think it deserves a 1-card pull because there's clearly conflict even within SCOTUS.
Sorry, we're doing a full card. Full card spread.
Yeah.
You just said.
Wait, what has everyone? If everyone's pulled 1 card, let's just stick with 1.
No. You just said, probably out of Freudian slip, you said 1-card pull. It deserves a 1-card pull. So I
meant to say that.
We all went, what? But we have our full spread here, yeah.
Fabulous, thank you. I'm still mixed up from, Traitors Australia. Oh my God, it's so good. It's just incredible.
Okay, I can kick off if you like, Hogan.
Go for it, Lena.
Well, they've got all these big cards going on here, 3 majors and legal cards and stuff, but right in the middle, loss. Like they're at a loss how to actually deal with this creature and this administration. speaking of the administration, there's the devil card, right? Now, up comes the Ace of Swords. So there was the moment of cohesion and clarity with this ruling. They can't get together on everything else, but they were quite clear, the judgment on this. And then he goes and spits in their face. So they know they have to come up with a brand new way to handle him going forward that is out of their remit. It's always been a gentleman's club, even the women on the Supreme Court, in that worst possible way. But they need a new way of dealing with him, because nothing that's on the books now is going to work. You've got Moses Mike in there, etc. They have to come up with it, and it could be taking bar licenses or something radical and different.
Interesting. Sheila, what do you have? How do you interpret your cards?
Well, the first up I got, they're sick and tired of the drama queen. The boys thirsty for chaos, right? And then I got to buddy up with that one that's blocked. They're like, they're blocked. Like, stop calling. Stop asking us to do stuff. I mean, Supreme Court people, they will only work a certain amount of time, and then they're usually off doing whatever they want.
Yeah.
So if you get an idea that they're not used to working so much, and they're not wanting to do it, his lust and obsession that he has, they're starting to see it, because they're starting to get really lots of tension between everybody and stressed out and worried, and it's like affecting them. Well, they're starting to come across some meetings. They're meeting with each other without us telling, like everybody's talking. And for some reason, they start really remembering that they are the authority, and they are the discipline, and we are we are the extreme figures. And so with all of that said, it's like they're having these little itty bitty conversations about that. Their egos are starting to get involved, and it says there's going to be a tide of transition. But they also know that they have to take small steps to do it, or else they're going to be plummeted. So I think they're getting sick and tired of the drama queen, and they're wanting to move on, and they're blocking, like, stop expecting us to do what you want us to do. And they're bougie. They're bougie.
Fascinating. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, underneath of it all, we have about restrictions, trying to put these restrictions in place. So the reading's about what they're trying to build when it comes to truth and putting out the right things. They are in agreement. The energy is an agreement, and they're trying to figure out the payoff with this. Because what's going on now is the absolute manipulation every time by Trump, and they're feeling embattled. We continue to put this out, but he's just, So the challenge is trying to see their way clearly, but they keep seeing through this filter. And how are we going to hold on to power? What can we do? What can we put out there? Because we're trying to navigate this situation and put the truth out there. But with this guy, everything is up in the air, yet time and time and time again. So they're feeling frustrated with trying to put out what's the real thing, and then he just blows it off and again twists it 180 degrees away. Like smarmy, the Jewish Nazi was out there. Oh, we won 9-0. We won it. They called me and they said you're in such great standing, and it's 100%.
It's true delirious behavior.
Yeah. We got a question coming up on him, which I'm saving for the end, because it's like we got some whoppers, some real bombs at the end of the show. I just want to say a few more thank yous. Where did
I've just got to move my place. I'll be back in a minute.
Dr. Liz, thank you so much. Thank you, Kathy A. And then we've got some comments here as well. So Bronwyn is saying Lost in Space does not compute. It isn't called dumbing down. Isn't it called dumbing down people? I think she meant to say. Intrepid Viewer says MAGA is only 23% of the voting population. Oh, we get a bit of outdoors with Lena. It's a minority rule because of gerrymandering and redistricting. Yes. Grace Gilbert says they are praying and bowing to the neon orange god they made. Wendy says they deported a student from sunny Plattsburgh, New York today. Look at that. Oh my goodness. And you see this theme of betrayal. Sunny says the appetite for fear and power is insatiable. Absolutely. And let's get one more in. Shannon says Letitia James, New York AG, now being investigated for alleged mortgage fraud. Like, really? Wow. Okay, so with SCOTUS,
They're just jealous that a beautiful black powerful woman has 2 houses. That's what they're more pissed off about than anything else. She just has a house in I think New Jersey or something like that, and then one in New York. They're just pissed off about it.
Wow. All right, so I've got my cards here. As you know, I pulled 5 cards, and guess what? 4 out of 5 of them are major arcana. And as we know, when we get the majors up, this means this is a big deal for SCOTUS. They are really going to have to make some kind of decision here. All right, so first card out of the gate. And I think the first 2 cards are about Trump. If we look here, we get the Chariot card here. So, of course, this is about using self-will and determination and plowing forward regardless. This is the card which really can mow over the dead bodies, yeah? I think this is Duck Larange. He's in his seat, sees himself as king/emperor, and he's letting rip. But what is his campaign that he's sharing with the rest of the world? Look, the obstacle position is the moon, which, you know, this can literally be lunacy. He's a lunatic. Trump is a charging, raging, steamrolling lunatic, yeah, which is now becoming obvious to the world. And apparently his approval rating among independents is now -29, I saw recently. And going down. But look what happens in the middle. Look what happens in the middle. Here, in the middle of reading, we literally have the Justice card. We're talking about the justices. You see our spirits jumping in here. So literally, so this is now saying, how will the justices deal with this lunatic that's out of control? And I'll just show you the next 2 cards because I think they really work well together. Yeah. We have the Ace of Wands, which is about fertile new beginnings. It's a yes card, but it's a card of bold action. And then they get the Magician. And what this says to me is, I think that SCOTUS are really on the cusp, potentially, of quite a momentous decision. Because I think it's only just dawned on them, they should have kind of worked this out when they kind of made him a king.
They've had an 8-year head start, you know.
Yeah, but in all dictatorships, who do they always come after in the end? The judiciary. That's who they know, like the regime knows it's only the judiciary that is really their only resistance. They're kind of like a toothless tiger in a way, but they have great symbolic and authoritative power. And I think this might be the time, I hope I'm correct, where they're going to start fighting and they're going to start using tools in the book. Because if democracy loses, they lose too, because what they will just do is they'll go, oh, look at all this fraud we found about you, which of course is abundantly there. Oh, sorry, judges, there's a nice warm seat, there's a nice warm cage for you in El Salvador. Because once you start deporting innocent people, you can deport anyone, and that's the point. So will they do it? Will they do everything in their power? I hope they will. Ladies, your thoughts on that, the justices?
Well, it's hard to know where to start because it's so significant, you know. Yeah. We just have to hope they finally get to stand up. Because if they're gone, that's the end of the rule of law, which has already taken a battering.
It's over. If they don't stand,
it's actually over. It's a failed state. and an authoritarian state.
Yeah, it will be official. And I know they these people, you know, they can smell the blood in the water. They do know what is at stake. For them to even rule 9 unanimous in favor of bringing him back, that was already quite bold. But they're gonna have to go further, because who would have thought here we are, SCOTUS, the last bulwark against tyranny. It's Shall we move on to the next question?
Yes.
At least those cards were quite positive for them, so I hope they do the right thing. All right, now this is coming from someone called Scorpio. Thanks, Scorpio, for your question. So they say, a whistleblower from NPR story, is he safe? So someone called Daniel Barulis, from what I understand. And he says, are they asking, is he safe from Russia and America? He was on the Rachel Maddow show. And they put here, Daniel Barulis, will Congress open an investigation? So just to put some context, I searched it out. This is someone from one of the official agencies that basically says Elon has stolen critical information. Not that shocking, but it's the fact that we have a whistleblower here. So will this go any further? Will there be investigations? Let's ask. And this is a 1-card pull. Daniel Barulis.
Yes. And by definition, also any other whistleblowers who are coming forward, you know.
Yes, that's good as well. Yeah, absolutely. Will anything be done about this? What's the energy around whistleblowers? I mean, surely, there's enough whistles that's been blown now for a whole chorus. Let's see, Daniel Barulis. All right, 1-card pull. Are we ready? All right, after 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh.
Okay.
Oh my God, that looks a bit like Trump or Putin on the front there. That's a bit spooky.
I know, doesn't it?
How do you interpret your card, Lena?
Well, this is the film noir deck, so movies. The night has 1,000 eyes. So I take this as meaning this whistleblower and others, in any revolution and change, you need those who are the sacrificial ones at first, I hate to say, but yes. But I think this means people are collecting the information, because if all these people are held to account with a new Congress and a new Senate, heaven send, they need this actual information. So everyone's watching everyone.
Wow. Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
Well, the question was, will there be anything, like he's going to whistleblow, will there be an investigation because of his information? I think this kind of daydreaming.
Wow.
It's a delusional. I don't, and to be honest with you, in my own little thing, it's like, yeah, they're going to take that like they've always done, is they take that information. Yeah, we'll get back to you on that, and then just put it on the shelf. And they will always let that bury and stuff like that. I just don't think that they'll take him serious.
Wow. Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
Well, this one is interesting because it looks like there's a division, a path there that could go 2 ways, but they're trying to figure out what action to take. They're still contemplating it.
Yeah. And with my card here, look, I get the Knight of Pentacles, which is the loyal, steady knight. In this, I would say he's in his more virtuous incarnation in this instance, rather than being the mercenary. I think this is the loyal, steady knight. So this says to me that, but it's not a fast card. It's not a fast card. I think when I take all of your cards into account, and I'm thinking with Lena's cards with the 1,000 eyes, I think it has to be a drip, drip, drip. I also agree with Sheila's card as well, that we know what this administration is going to do. They're just going to throw a whole heap of steaming BS on it. But also as well with Lady G's card with that fork in the road. It really is a fork in the road. People have to be emboldened to also speak up.
Yeah.
So it's really tricky. Big cards tonight, isn't it? Big cards. But I'm going to
Mm.
say slow and steady, fingers crossed.
Mm. So Falcon Brit says in the comments, threatening the whistleblower with drone harassment and a note on his front door, you know, like, ugh.
My God, these people, they are so dreadful. Let me just say a few more thank yous. Thank you, Pam Stanton. Rachel. Oh, darling.
Rachel is a student of mine. Mm.
Oh, thank you so much for your very generous donation. Tam Sea Salts. So that's a great one. Tam Sea Salts. Love that. Shine on. Thank you all. And thank you, Leslie. Oh, much appreciated. Very generous for your donation. Right. Shall we dive into the next question, ladies? And as we get nearer the end, the temperature begins to rise.
Literally.
Quite literally. So let's go to question number 4. So this has come in from, and this will be a 1-card pull. And this is coming from Cheryl Renee. So she says, love and light to you, Hoagie, and your sacred scions of sagacity. Oh, doesn't that sound right? I need to be cryptic here because if I'm not, you know who Tube basically deletes the comments. So the question is, has Elon Musk sold/pilfered personal information to Russia and China? If so, I'm trying to offer a defense for our US people, and they went on to advise about freezing credit and stuff. But if we just focus on it, is Elon Musk selling this information or giving this information to either Russia or China? 1-card pull. Let's see. We know he has connections to both, or certainly to China anyway.
No, both. We know he has Russian.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah. With all the stuff that's been happening. Oh, gosh. Elon. What folly. All right. 1 card. Are we all ready? All right. After 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, gosh. Well, that's quite clear, isn't it? All right, Lena, how do you interpret your card? It needs interpretation.
Yes, well, Ace of Pentacles, gold in the hand, Fool's gold. If he hasn't already, I think it's one of the things he's intending. So the answer to the question is certainly willing.
Wow.
And
Sheila.
as he's losing money, he'd be more willing. Sorry, Sheila.
Of course, yeah, you're right. Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
Oh, they're having a love affair with all of these information. They are just absolutely loving Elon. Oh, good job. Thank you so much. They're dirty little secrets. And Elon is right in the middle of it and getting all the accolades he needs and he thinks he deserves. But yeah, I do believe that
literally says dirty little secrets.
Dirty little secrets. So
wow.
yeah.
Pretty resounding. Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
Well, absolutely they are. You know, there was a whistleblower that came on that said he was downloading information. As he was doing that, a Russian IP address came on.
Oh,
Yes.
So, yeah, you know, feeling embattled. We're going to continue to fight against this. We will get through it, but it's a tough road.
Gosh. Well, here, maybe, I mean, I think just from your cards, ladies, I mean, it's a resounding yes. And here's my Queen of Swords here. So I'm just hoping that there will be some kind of legal comeuppance for Elon in the end. If there's one thing that Elon certainly doesn't have, which Duck Larange does have, he does not have immunity. Yeah. This is what Trump reminded us at the start of the campaign. You remember, he was like, well, he can't be president. He. Yeah. So could this mean there might be some clarity of judgment at some point? Or is this maybe the shareholders perhaps that kind of cut something loose? But I'm hoping that might be something against him. However, I also associate this card with money and accounting as well. So I hope there's a comeuppance for him, but I think he's It's pretty clear, isn't it? I think he's sold stuff. It's quite equivocal.
And the thing with the muskrat is, once he's falling out of favor, and once he's out of the room, so to speak, there's more likely to be legal stuff coming for him than a lot of the others,
just because they just don't like him. They said he's extremely irritating, as we've all seen. All right, are we ready for the next one? Now we're getting into the heavyweights. Full card pull. I don't know much about this man, and this is why I wanted a full card pull. And we're going to have a Shakespeare as well, and it's about Stephen Miller. So this is coming, I know. This is coming from Jenny Bean. She says, "Hi, Hoagie. This is hi, Hoagie. This is Jennifer from our reading on Tuesday." Hello, Jennifer. We had a lovely reading together. "Please look at Stephen Miller. Will he have a downfall? And if so, what does it look like? Is he as evil as he seems to be?" So full card pull and then the Shakespeare on this guy. People are calling him, they're saying he looks like Goebbels. I don't know what Goebbels looks like, but they're calling him
he looks
that.
like Stephen Miller, he did back in the day. I mean, it's kind of creepy.
Oh.
I always call it the Jewish Nazi. Every time I see him, I see his past life in a Nazi uniform with the scar on the face.
Wow.
And his family have virtually disowned him,
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
he just seems he just reminds me of one of the Greys from the Wheel of Time, these kind of soulless creatures. He's like a ring wraith to me, also as well from Lord of the Rings. I just feel he's kind of soulless.
Yep.
Creepy.
Are we doing a full or a one card? I can't remember.
Full card.
And we have 2,423 of you with us so far. Thank you so much for joining us. Stephen Miller. Even just to pull cards on him.
I know. It's someone in the comments said, "Get the hand sanitizer out." Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the sage, I think. I've never read on him before, but I just feel he's when I look at him, when I think he reminds me of Nosferatu as well. The old film from he's creepy. Gosh, he's creepy.
Yeah, seriously creepy.
Really, really creepy. All right, who's ready to go first?
I can.
Go for it.
Okay, he's defending what he believes in, which is part of Project 25 and all of that, of just, he's a white supremacist, eugenicist horror show, right? Everything, he wants everyone out who doesn't look right. His obstacle card is the sun. Right?
Oh.
You don't want the sun in the obstacle card because you will be exposed. Not that we don't know already, but I think he's got away with so much flying under the radar. The deal he doesn't want, in the sense that it can't be bad enough for Stephen Miller. It's still not cruel enough. It's still not repressive enough. He can't get enough. Oh, what's over his spread? I'm so glad you asked. The Tower.
Oh.
So this has been 10 years in the works too, right? But the Tower is over him because he's an architect of everything that's going on. He's a main player, but he's not out there like Stephen Bannon. He's not out there like the others, but he's a full-blown architect, and his ships will return.
Wow.
His ships will return.
Fascinating. All right, Sheila, how do you interpret your cards on Stephen Miller?
Okay. So what I got with him is also paranoid, because he's this guy. He is a Right. It's almost like all of the Christians that surround him, they all look at him and go, God, that boy needs Jesus. You know what I mean? They really think that they all know that he's like this guy right here. You know, he's a threat. He does things for thrills.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he does everything. And he has access granted to everything. He gets granted access to everything. However, his facade, his fake personality is I am harmony and I am masculine. I'm divine masculine. And I, harmony and peace. And that's his facade, because he's trapped in his own mind. He's trapped.
Yes.
How, some way. And here is my cards. I have never seen this card either, but he has a karmic hopelessness and loss.
Wow.
What a comment.
know. If anybody has ever done this work, when we come across somebody who has a karmic it's like you incarnated in not in the right way. Like it's like somebody will know what I'm talking about, because my words can't come out right. I don't know. It's like you incarnated and you jumped in a body you didn't deserve. That's what with this guy. And that's the reason why we see him as soulless.
Yeah, I just feel, even just reading on him is just...
Yes, it explains a lot.
Yep, he wants the chaos. He is there for a reason. That's how come he can gain power, because he doesn't care how he got there. So he's a bizarre little dude.
Yeah.
All right, Lady G, how do you interpret your cards? What did you get?
With her, like I said, every time I see him his past life as a Nazi with the thing. So what did they do? Karma made him a Jew this time, but he's still in the old mentality.
Yeah.
So he has not progressed. So underneath of it all, we have what's hidden, and that's his message about actions that he continues to put out there. And all of his actions, he tells them he's the one behind all the horrendous deportations and all of that.
Yeah.
He's the one that's behind it. So the reading's about not liking what's coming when it comes to what's being offered, what's being put out there. A lot of judgment is taking place with that with him. He is, of course, facing loss. He's got that mentality when he's trying to live the good life, but he continues, to feel the swords coming down. From his past stuff, his mind is still spinning on all of it. What's going on now, things are up in the air when it comes to the things he's sharing and continuing to try to implement the dark government. Let's go back to, Hitler times with what he's birthing. The challenge is how he's trying to birth it and get away with things. And then again, rule the roost with this iron hand of this is what we say truth is. And so what's rapidly coming, not liking the harvest because it's not going well for them and what they're offering up. Okay, so we have trying to figure out the next move, but he's got the burden of, again, he's going to be confronted with all the messages of drama he's put out. So it's not going to bode well for him. He's going to have a horrendous life review when he leaves the reality of form. Gosh.
Fascinating cards. And let me just give a little quick update here as well. Scroll down. So Maggie Walsh, thank you so much for your donation. Here, Arcadian Proud says, universities are finding that far fewer international students are accepting offers. Yeah. Some are resending acceptance letters due to lost research grants. Students were tied to, I think they were going to say. So look, I mean, it's just having this chilling effect, isn't it? This absolute chilling effect. Foggy says the project 2025 going through at rocket speed has torn our country down here in America, says Foggy. Now my cards for Stephen Miller, very they're interesting cards. If we look here, the first card that he gets is the Knight of Cups. Now we know that this card can be, the shadow of this card is famously deceitful. But it's also like the message bearer. It can be the envoy, it can have princely qualities, but he's like an evil messenger. And did you see when the I think it was Caitlin Collins actually kind of stood up and took a little bit of a political risk, and she was like, well, but didn't SCOTUS universally say that you should try and bring him back? And then he just dived in with his spiel and just did his kind of Nazi-esque double speak. That's him. I think this is one of the main reasons why he's been employed on Project 2025, because he is the one that is pushing the message quite literally, but it's a message that ultimately is deceitful. If we look here, we've in the next position here, we have got the Knight of Wands. My mind just blanked for a minute there. So he's chomping at the bit. He's raring to go. Do you see two knights together? He just wants to get that message out there, like, come on, let's get on with it. Deport. Do you see? He's putting all of his passion and all of his oeuvre. He's got the messaging and he wants to back it up with the actions. If we look here, just in case we weren't sure, look what he gets in the middle. The Eight of Pentacles, which doesn't, of course, just talk about money. This is the card of students. It can talk about studiousness or working towards a goal. He is passionate and determined to work towards his what seems to be Gerber-esque goal, whatever it is, whatever dark goal it is. He's putting in the work and he's collaborating with others, but he also sees students as a target as well. If we look here, I'll read the last two together. It's like he is pregnant with deceit. That's his intention in a way. Like, as we know, when we read politically, I mean, as you know, I associate this card with Russia, but this, I feel like it's literally, he is pregnant with malevolence. I feel like he's pregnant with evil. Do you know what I mean?
Nothing's bad enough for this man.
He can't contain himself. You could see it just has to burst out of him, but the eyes just stay still. Like the mouth is moving, the body is animated. He's making me think of, what is it? From The Simpsons, the wicked factory owner.
Mr. Burns.
Yeah, like that, but without, even Mr. Burns had a bit of something, but look, we can see here, it's theft, it's deceit, it's to weaken the camp, it's to weaken America. And this actually literally does talk about camps. There's literally a camp here, but we will know that he wants to take people to camps abroad and possibly even at home. So, horrible. Shall we ask Shakespeare about him and then move to the next questions? Let's see. It will be Lady G. Whose turn is it this time? No, was it?
I think it's mine, actually.
I think it's you, Lena. I think it's you.
It's Lena's, yes.
Yeah. Lady, I remember now. Lady G was last week. So let's get the Bard's opinion on Stephen Miller. You know the routine.
It's disturbing, isn't it? All right. Ready? Stop.
Oh, this is interesting. So it says, this is from As You Like It. And it says here, I think he be transformed into a beast, for I can nowhere find him like a man.
Oh.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then on the other page, Henry VIII, it says, "You are strangely troublesome." I think that kind of nails it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of understated, but skewers him.
Yeah. And it has that creepiness. I think he be transformed into a beast, for I can nowhere find him like a man. Wow.
Yeah, no mercy, no heart, no. Ooh.
Nothing. Oh, shivers the bard, but that, the creeps. All right, let's squeeze in. Oh, someone wanted to ask about J D Vance for president. Let's see how we're doing on to. All right, we have to talk about the hot mic moment. So I think this can be a one card pull, and then we'll finish with a full card pull for J D Vance. So Denise Ferguson said, after their meeting at the White House, Trump was caught on a hot mic telling El Salvador president, the homegrowns are next. Yeah, we've all heard this betrayal. Yeah, Al Gore. You got to build 5 more places. Will the Trump admin attempt to deport Americans charged with a crime to El Salvador? Let's do that one card pull, and then we've got to read on J D Vance.
Well, it has nothing to do with criminal. They're going to pick who they want.
No. These are political.
Yeah, all about who they want to take. It has nothing to do with legal, illegal, nothing.
Yeah, they don't care.
And political revenge.
Care. Yes.
All right. So Trump in regards to will Trump admin attempt to deport American charged with crime? Well, they don't have to be charged with anything. Let's see. One card pull. One card.
Yes, all right. Not a matter of being charged.
After 3, are we ready? All right. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, smart. Oh, look at this card.
Oh, look at that.
Boss. Oh, wow.
Kind of says it all, really, doesn't it?
And a prison sort of image.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, my God. Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
Oh, Lena? No? Yeah?
I think Lena.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Chaos. All he wants is chaos, evil, disaster, and downfall. There is in Trump's agenda that is going to bring America up to standard. It is all he sees being rich for the downfall. That's why he's had bankruptcies. He saw how you can get rich by doing bankruptcies, and that's what he's doing with the United States.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's offering the El Salvador president something and promising
millions of dollars.
Yeah, promising
$5,000 per year per person.
Yeah.
What was the figure, Lady G?
$25,000 per person per year.
Wow. Lady G, how do you interpret your card? It looks quite sinister.
Yeah, well, he's got all these ones that he's got to carry, and he just wants to get rid of them all. They are just a burden to him. So, yeah, I want to get rid of these ones.
Gosh.
Deal.
And there was a house there as well, and he was talking about homegrown. And look, mine's quite simple. We all know how to interpret this card. Thinky fish. It's just more foul stench that is just going to keep coming out from Trump. And this card can talk about rude surprises, unexpected, random things, because the fish is coming out of the cup. So this will literally mean some American citizens will just be, you'll be in Trader Joe's or wherever, you'll be in Walmart, and then they'll just come up, or you'll get a letter. Like, there was a solicitor, American citizen, female solicitor, who literally got this letter saying, oh, you need to leave the country now. So that's what's part of it as well, the fear and intimidation. Oh, God, so dreadful. Shocking. Let's squeeze in one more. We may go over a little bit, but I think this is well worth a question. Do you want to do, this is a J D Vance question. I'll read it out. Let me know if you want to do a full card or a one card pull. All right. So Cass says, will J D Vance end up being president? Oh, after hearing on Lena's channel about Curtis Yarvin, who is just devil incarnate, and how Vance follows this nut monster who thinks undesirable people should be made into biofuel. Oh my God. I'm wondering, and they say, oh my God as well. I'm wondering if Dumpy picked Vance because he's even worse than himself. And I've put my note here. I'm not sure if that why Trump picked him, but I've always said J D Vance is even worse than Duck Larange. He is fully in it. So do you want to do a full card pull on that, ladies, or one card pull? Will J D Vance become president?
Maybe one card.
One?
Yeah.
Let's do a one. Let's do a onesies, because a one is still really good. J D Vance. Oh God. Horror, horror, horror. Do you know what's coming into my mind when I do these readings? Has anyone seen American Werewolf in London?
Yeah, I saw it 20 years ago.
And I just feel it's kind of like that, you know, where this horrible transformation. But anyway, after 3, 1, 2, 3. J D Vance, will he be president? Ooh.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mine says, sorry, wrong number. I love everything about that. It's it's being groomed for this role, but like, oh my word. I can't even speak. It's so hilarious. And we've got to have a laugh in the face of all this madness.
Exactly. Right. Sorry, wrong number.
Well, I too it's just gossip, and they're just being nosy. They're just throwing it out there for distraction. I mean, it's just gossip at this point. Most gossip is not real.
Wow. Wow, love that. Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
People are in agreement. Everybody's in agreement about him not.
Yeah. Could bring the nation together.
Yeah, exactly. Indeed. And look, my one's pretty clear as well. For me, actually, I interpret this card as one of the most difficult in the deck, because I interpret this card as the career ending. It goes nowhere. Yeah, it's just, I think he is so, as dreadful and as awful as Duck Larange is, he has the voodoo. Yeah, we all know that. Duck Larange has the voodoo. He has the ability to make people sacrifice themselves for him, do the most ridiculous stuff for him. And that's part of his mojo, his dark charisma. J D Vance has none. He is charmless. No international leader definitely doesn't want him after he's just the dreadful things he says on the international stage. So there doesn't seem to be appetite. So let's hope that J D Vance doesn't make it. But, you know,
I mean, he could be an interim president for obvious reasons.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, if the Yeti fell off the golf cart. But, you know, doesn't mean he would get the big gig.
Yeah, fascinating. Well, thanks so much, everyone, for joining us this evening. 2,372 of you. Thank you as well for all the donations. I just want to say a quick thank you as well to Joan. And, wow, what times.
I know. And just a couple of comments here. The bard has spoken from across the centuries. I love that phrase. Yeah. And Kathleen O'Malley, who's a regular supporter of our channels, reminding people, go to the Indivisible website, because it has all the information on your state, your district, your area of what's going on. That's good advice.
Fabulous. All right, ladies. Well, the time has gone in a flash. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you so much for your questions. Please, of course, remember to like and subscribe and share so this channel can reach a wider audience. Thank you for all of the support. And we know that these times are very difficult, but I'm glad we're always at least able to bring you at least one big laugh in the show. Just that. Sorry, wrong number.
Wrong
I mean,
number.
I just think that's the closing thought of this evening. We of course will see you back next week. We're looking forward to being with you. Stay well, everyone. One foot in front of the other. Remember, protest, protest, protest. It does work. It does work. He pays attention. And yes, I think we will leave it there. So bye-bye, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Big love.
Bye.
Bye.